Do the first one.
This is going great.
Right?
Well, I wasn't expecting you to turn to me.
Oh, this is fantastic. Have you...
Yep.
And we're official now.
Look at all those people who aren't here.
Oh, that is awesome.
Well,
Yes.
I could just read to you from the first article I have pulled up on my phone. I'm going to be a millennial and just look at my phone the whole time. I'm
Oh my
texting. I'm not even,
right?
I'm too cool for this.
That's what we're here for, yeah. I guess a lot of people just listen to us as a podcast, and we don't normally have a video component, but we do now live stream this on YouTube, and you can see our faces right now.
They started doing it when I guested last week. This is the second week, and it's obviously because I'm so photogenic they wanted me on camera.
Yes, very
All right, this is the first article I have pulled up on my phone, so we'll see how it goes because I haven't really read it fully. So, listen, it's the last week of classes for me of the semester, so I'm just kind of constantly dead. It's fine.
No worries, totally understood.
Bear with me. So the title, this is an article by Hemant Mehta, Friendly Atheist.
Okay.
I forget who I got this from. It's from Twitter. Someone posted this on Twitter. I don't remember who. It's titled, "They," in quotations, "want to, quote, silence the pulpit," says pastor whose rant nobody silenced. So it says, in a rant designed to appeal to the Christian persecution crowd, big fans of them, Pastor Shane Idleman of Westside Christian Fellowship in Leona Valley, California, argued earlier this month that, quote, people, he means our culture in general, were trying to suppress voices like his. At one point, he also argues the problem is government.
They're on to us.
Yeah, this is a very familiar narrative. Let's read a little of his quote. Oh, it starts with a good one. You ready for this?
Okay.
I'm so sick of this politically correct culture that can't offend anyone except believers, said Idleman. I picked a voice for him. I have no idea what he actually sounds like.
That's okay.
It just
You understand the vibe of the show very well, I would say.
It just seemed appropriate, said Idleman, charging that the culture is trying to silence the church and, quote, the voice of truth. There's a lot of quotation marks in this article, just a lot of scare quotes. Okay. Waving his Bible, he said, I'll give you this when I gotta get my voice. I'll give you this when you pry it out of my cold, dead hands.
Wow. Oh, that is brutal. So
I mean, it's just quoting like NRA bullshit.
Well, I mean, who in 2018 believes this wackadoo? Like
Everyone on the internet.
That is unbelievable to me. That is unbelievable. How can we get here to this place when people are? I just can't fathom it.
Who was the wackadoo again in this case?
Everyone who believes him.
No. I mean him. Who?
Yes,
him. Who?
This is Pastor Shane Idleman.
Oh, I never heard of him, so he doesn't matter.
Yes.
You don't know Shane?
No, I do not. Do you?
No, I don't.
Me and Shane were like this.
We go way back.
If my article choice is boring, we could go to
not at all.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if there's any more interesting quotes. Okay. The pulpit sets the tone for the nation, not Fox News and CNN.
Wait. Okay.
Yes, that's a direct quote from him.
So normally when people get pissy about Fox News, they are liberal. And normally when people get pissy about CNN, they are conservative, even though CNN isn't all that liberal.
He's pissy because he's religious and nobody's listening to him.
So is he that far out in the woods, though, that he doesn't even have any friends?
He's too religious for Fox News? Is that what we're getting from this?
So he's arguing that Americans should look to the Bible for answers about immigration, guns, gay marriage, and other issues.
What does the Bible have to say about guns? I'm really curious.
Oh, that's the unknown 12th. Thou shalt own an AR-15.
What's the 11th?
Yeah, the 11th?
There's typically 10.
The 11th rule of the commandments is you don't talk about the 11th rule of the commandments.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
What an original joke.
They can't all be gems, EJ. Okay? They can't all be gems. You don't need to air my dirty laundry out. God.
I think that's exactly what I'm supposed to do on this show, actually.
And he did take his shotgun, and lo, it was sawed off completely. And
My
Abraham's son Isaac had no chance.
See, my favorite part of this article is that Hemant went through and put quotations around every single thing he could have put. Like he put, but he said, quote, they want to, quote, silence the pulp. Like he just was really hammering that quotation mark key.
So pro tip, and only out of love, since I've been doing this a while.
Am I doing a bad job already?
No, you're doing a good job. But when somebody links me a blog article, I look for the original source and click that instead. And that way you get rid of all the editorializing, because that's our job.
I'm just really enjoing the quotations, though.
Sure.
Yeah, I can try and find the original source.
No. Now that you're on it, it's cool. But
okay. Well, this is what you get for making me pick the first one.
No, I'm just learning experience. That's what we're all about.
All right. Should I keep reading it, or are we done with this one yet?
Do you feel like we have mined out the comedy for this guy, or?
Let's see. I can't even. I'm losing track of the antecedents in these quotes, though, because he uses a lot of pronouns, but it's not very clear who the pronouns are referring to.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of the problem with Friendly Atheist. As fine as he is,
these are direct quotes from the pastor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this isn't a problem with the article. It's direct quotes from the pastor. He's losing track of his antecedents there, but was this a video he was commenting on, or? Yes, it is a YouTube video that is a rant that is designed to appeal to the Christian persecution crowd.
Got it.
I mean, we could. Yeah. If you want to take over doing this, I don't know. I feel like I'm already bombing, so somebody else should do it.
No, you're doing great. You really are. But before we decide to move on,
I didn't have to read any articles last time.
Yeah, I just really quickly need to get these out there. I know they're not all gems, but Moses said unto his people, "This is my boomstick." I got that one, and the angel went down and popped a cap in the first son of every. Never mind.
This is
painful. I'm done.
Eric, you are hurting me physically.
That is the Book of Evil Dead 2. No, wait.
That's Army of Darkness.
I'm bored of this article. This guy is just a typical Christian persecution guy ranting about how nobody's listening to him because he's a pastor at a church that nobody goes to.
All right.
Moving on.
Well, now it's time for me to be Dennis and read some mail. And, in case you were feeling bad about that, I just want to make sure to get this one out from Greg in Seattle. He says, "Hey, everyone. Are there any plans to have EJ stay on as a long-term host? I really enjoyed hearing what they had to say."
Do it, EJ.
Did you pick this just to stroke my ego? Because
it was right there. But, you get... when the audience calls you out specifically as awesome, you get that. That's and when they say this person sucks, then we also do that. But none of that this week. Also, I miss Jeff. I'm sure that the Pope would have a lot to say regarding the kid who asked if his atheist father was in heaven. Stay awesome, Simon. Wait, no, Greg.
Well, I'm sure Simon Greg is very happy that you read their email.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah. Well, I miss Jeff too, but I am happy that we have a bench for this show. I think we've had a lot of really good guest hosts in the last few weeks, and I definitely count EJ as one of them. So thanks. I'm so glad you could join us again today.
Yeah, I'm glad to have a break from all of the work that I have to do, which I'm going to go scramble to do after this.
Is it due?
I have a presentation tomorrow that I have to prepare for and some homework due tomorrow, but, it's fine. Most of college has been just spent flying by the seat of my pants like every good college student.
Absolutely.
I do everything last minute. It's fine. Is it? No.
Well, we are really excited to have you here. And for people who cannot get enough EJ is also going to be visiting us on Sunday to be on Talk Heathen as well. You do have an engagement on Sunday.
Yes.
Be there, please.
Are you going to vote beforehand?
Just don't. It's a trap.
Anyway.
It's a trap. Okay. So...
news?
News.
Anyone?
Okay. Yeah. So this one is also from Pathos.com, but it is David McAfee. And the reason do we want happy news or sad news? What do we want?
Before you start reading that, could you take a quick glance and see if there's a link early in the article that will take you to an actual news source?
Well,
I feel like I was remiss in giving suggestions about how to collect this stuff.
You didn't give us much coaching before this.
So
yes.
I've written this before, but I will tip my hand to the audience about my general philosophy of reading news, which is I believe in journalism, and our job is to make fun of the news and give it context, and so I weight stories that I receive from sources that are kind of reputable news organizations above blogs. And so that's also a tip to the listeners who are trying to submit something relevant and get their name called out.
I got
Such as...
Well, no, now I found the source. It's armytimes.com.
Armytimes.com.
Yeah, a soldier just got authorization to wear a beard because of his Norse pagan faith.
Oh, well, this certainly brings up a subject that we have gone off on many times on the show, and we're about to do it again.
Oh,
keep reading.
Glorious.
Yes.
If they can do it, we can too. Argument. So it says, when the Army authorized beards for religious soldiers in early 2017, the move was a response to years of requests and a lawsuit from Sikh soldiers seeking to both serve and adhere to the tenets of their faith. But the directive technically applied to all religions, and that includes Norse pagans, also known as, you ready for this? Heathens.
Oh.
Yeah. According to...
I don't know if I want to categorize myself along with them.
I tend to categorize myself as a heathen, but that might just be a personal...
Well, yeah, but then that guy is horning in on your label.
So I actually, okay.
Okay.
I know I shouldn't read the comments. I know I shouldn't engage.
Okay.
I actually got in an argument with somebody who commented on one of the Talk Heathen videos saying, I went to this channel expecting more heathen content. If you're going to call yourselves heathens, you should actually produce heathen content. And I'm like...
What?
Yeah, so I responded like, hey, I think you might be a little confused. You know, this is kind of a tongue-in-cheek, like, heathen... something that atheists have been called because anybody who is not part of the Abrahamic faiths is technically considered a heathen by general definition of the term. And this guy just would not accept that definition because his definition was that one of the like Norse pagan, like historical heathen. He even compared it to the N-word, and I was like, buddy, no, that's not how any of this works.
Did he actually you?
Yeah.
He was writing me essays, and I was just responding with like... Whoa.
You know what? He's not the only one. We got emails from other people, and apparently the Nordic root of heathen does, you can also trace it back to those who follow the old religion or heathens. But in the King James Version, it says, take your slaves from the heathens among you. And so that's where it kind of crossed over, at least as far as I've seen. I'm sure it dates back further for English usage, but... who really cares? They know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I got into like a really big conversation with him about how words can change meaning over time, and just wouldn't accept it like at all. And I was over here like, but that's how words work. That's how language works. It's fluid. It changes over time. That's the whole point.
Well, and it's not even that the words are changing. Words have more than one meaning.
Exactly.
Which nobody ever asks me what my favorite fallacy is, but I tell them anyway. It is equivocation, which is the use of one definition of the word to score a spurious logical point when you're just stealthing that definition in when you mean the other thing. Like if you were to say, feathers are light, so there are no dark feathers.
Yeah.
Well, I have here dictionary.com, which lists 4 different definitions of heathen. And the number 1 definition for all you goddamn YouTube commenters is...
Oh, that's not going to get us any comments, Russell.
An individual... Yeah, screw you two. An individual of a people that do not acknowledge the God of the Bible, a person who is neither a Jew, Christian, nor Muslim, a pagan, which is, you know, it feels like an afterthought. But then number 2, informal, an irreligious, uncultured, or uncivilized person.
Yep, that's us right here.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Right?
Fits. And then number 3, of or relating to heathens, semicolon, pagan.
They really like to tack that pagan on there.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, there are definitions of the word that reference pagans, but they are not the only or even the primary usage of that.
Which was exactly my point.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back. That's what we're going to do. We're going to bring it back. We're going to own it.
Okay, tell us about this heathen.
Okay, this particular heathen. Let's see.
Heathen number 3, according to the definitions.
Well, okay, so yeah, heathen number 3, this Norse pagan. Let's see. Quote, I grant your accommodation subject to the standards and limitations described below. And this was quoted to Commander Colonel Curtis Schroeder, who wrote to a 795th Military Police Battalion soldier whose name has been redacted, though both this article and the Patheos article that references this all have images of dudes just rocking some excellent beards. I mean, their level of bearding is just fantastic. I am super, super jelly. I'm like, you guys are talking.
I'm sorry. Did you just unironically say jelly?
Why? Why you gotta do that? Why? Did I hurt you somehow? Is that what happened?
I'll tell you what. I live with a teenager. Wait, no,
but is Eric a teenager though?
I get plenty.
If anyone on this podcast can get away with that kind of stuff, it's me, because I'm the 21-year-old.
Oh, you totally can. I'm just saying, when you live with the teenager, you get constant mockery about, Dad, did you just say a thing that used to be popular?
Oh my! Are you treating me like Dad? Oh, EJ.
You're like Russell. 6 years older than me, please.
Yes. Old farts unite.
Oh, wait a second. Screw you guys. All right. So,
actually, with Jeff and Dennis around, I am normally the youngest person in this room. So it's kind of refreshing to be the wise old man.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
Hello, my friends.
I always get to be the young kid whenever I'm at the ACA, though.
Okay.
That's okay. You are adored every time you come. So, yeah, I mean, this is a step to removing people getting special preferential treatment because of religious exemptions. And I am absolutely for expanding that until it's meaningless because...
Wait, hold on.
Well, is it a step, or is it giving people more religious exemptions?
Not if everybody can say that their religion allows it, then it's just for everybody. I mean... Maybe? I kind of want to extend that. You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of the Church of Satan, or the Satanic Temple people, right? Who who wanted to put up the statue of Baphomet right next to the 10 Commandments, right? And they said, oh, well, if your religion allows you to put up the 10 Commandments, then our religion allows us to put up a giant happy statue of Baphomet.
Yes. But hold on. But the reason they wanted to put up the statue of Baphomet was to like point out the issue with having religious stuff on a government grounds. Like, that wasn't include us too. It was no, you shouldn't be able to do this. Right. We're gonna do it so that you want to take it all away. Like, the point was to undo 10 Commandments, not to have everybody get to put their statue up.
So here's the thing: whether they disallow people from having beards, no matter what their religion is, or they allow everyone to have beards, what you're doing is you're removing religious exemption one way or another. Either everyone gets it or no one gets it. But it's not, oh, you go to the First Methodist Church, so you can do this, but you go to the Third Methodist Church, so you can't, right? It kind of removes that selection. And with that, I'm actually pretty okay with that. And this is non-ironic. Like, this isn't just smarmy, people who are trying to, shake things out. This is an actual dude who worships Thor, which is kind of cool in my opinion.
So the point that we've discussed quite a bit on the show in the past is rules like you can't have a beard are in themselves either good rules or bad rules. And if they're good rules, then they should apply to everybody. And if they have really no purpose, then they shouldn't apply to anybody. And like you say, that this can be a step in getting rid of religious special treatment. I think we spent multiple shows a year or two ago talking about this situation where there was a Canadian Mountie who was a Sikh, and instead, you know what the hats that Mounties wear, they have this
glorious hats,
specific dress code. But this guy was a Sikh; he wanted to wear a turban, and the question was, is it or isn't it a good rule to say that Mounties have to be identified by these hats?
I mean, I kind of approach it from the perspective of why is the rule in place,
Right.
Like, if it matters what kind of hat they're wearing, then I could see pushing back against it. But if it doesn't matter, like, if he's still going to be identifiable as a Mountie, or if this guy is still going to be able to perform all of his functions in the military, then I don't really see an issue with allowing them to do it.
I can't remember if he had like a red turban with a leaf on it. Because then you can still totally tell.
That is fantastic. That's exactly what I was going to ask, is like if he paints it like a hat, or if he like squishes it down to the general shape. Is that like an okay
that's not how that works at all. I don't think that's how that works in the slightest.
Probably a challenge to make the turban hold a specific pattern.
Challenge accepted. For those listening to the Non-Prophets, send in your turban Mountie hat ideas.
Do not do this.
Let's see if we can get this going.
Oh God.
Well, you're welcome to try, and we'll be reading all about it in 2 weeks. So beards. I mean, I'm in favor of them myself.
And you wear it well.
Thank you.
Wear it well.
Thank you. I don't really have an opinion. I have never been tempted to join the military. Sorry to all our wonderful military listeners out there, but it's not my thing. So whether I would be forced to shave it if I were in the military or not has never really been that big a concern for me. I assume that once I join the military, a lot of other things I'm forced to do or not do will take a lot of precedence over the beard or hair issue.
I'm going to refrain from sharing my opinion about the military because that'll lose me a lot of fans, I suspect.
You know what? I personally think if you're willing to die because someone tells you to run out onto a field, if you want to be rocking an epic beard, you do you, right? Like, who cares how you're dressed or what you're looking like if you're out there actually doing the work, as long as the other soldiers can recognize you. I mean, I really don't see an issue.
I feel a little bit like we're doing our audience a disservice by not having Jen Peoples on this show.
Yes, for those of you in the military, we do appreciate your service. Thank you.
And then there's
Some of my
EJ,
closest
who's
friends are veterans. No.
Wow.
I'm certainly not prejudiced against veterans.
Jeez, EJ,
it's true.
that was a really prejudiced thing for you to say. I can't believe you would do that.
I do have a friend who's a veteran, but I'm also not going to share my opinion on the military because, again, that will cause a flame war, and I don't really feel like dealing with it.
You know what? Leave it to someone just young and inexperienced.
Okay. We don't do that on this show. Just cut that out. No ageism.
Oh, I see. It can go up, but it can't go down. Okay, I got you. I feel it.
It's
I
punching up
it.
versus punching down, quite literally.
Yes, punching upward in years. So if age is greater than or equal to 5+ your age. No,
mine is
actually,
7.
Ageism is still a thing against really old people. But
yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything wrong. No, never mind. So can we do another?
Shut up, whippersnapper!
We're having a real hard time staying on track.
No, but that's okay. We're having fun. And
Par
I'm
for the
enjoying
course.
this. Yeah. Can I give you another article, or do we have something else?
It's time for mail.
It's time for mail.
We have an order on this show.
Do we?
God, Eric.